I basically shoot video because I have to. When I was doing the small town photo project a couple years ago, I developed a belief that to be successful as a modern photographer who largely sees photography as art and not, weddings or freelance or whatever, I want to make work and sell it. In order to do that in the modern day, you have to also be good at communicating the context around the images. I really think that we kind of have to just get over ourselves and shoot videos about it. Now that's the coolest car here. Right there. What's up? What's up? Hey.
Welcome to the Mamiya, guys. Yeah. This is where all the cars are, and this is where our meeting.
So I just got two new cameras. First is a point and shoot video camera, and the second is a medium format film camera. They both have specific purposes for the progression of my art and my YouTube channel, and for what I see the utility of a YouTube channel is. This is my studio camera. It's a Sony A7 IV. Most days I regret buying this camera for photography. I don't like Sonys for photography. And sure, there are plenty of Sony photographers that take good pictures, but it feels like the equivalent of shooting photos with a Windows PC rather than a camera. It just feels like it's missing something. But for video, it's very simple and utilitarian. My videos are utilitarian. I'm not trying to be Kubrick or anything. I want to tell stories about the photos I take, so to me, the photos are what is most important. So when I travel, I want the focus to be on the cameras that I'm taking photos with, not the video equipment that I'm trying to shoot the video about taking the photos with. My problem and battle with YouTube is that it tends to want to subsume everything, which is why video tends to kind of take over time for most photography YouTube channels. And then the photography becomes secondary. I'm trying to stay, photo first if that's at all possible. So oftentimes I document my traveling and photo taking with whatever I have at hand, which ends up being my iPhone. But the problem with that is that I use my iPhone for so many other things that it sucks the battery, and then I also don't have enough storage space on my phone for all the 4K video I'm shooting. My next go-to is a GoPro Hero 9, but that gets tough to watch after a while just because of the super wide focal length of the camera. So enter the Sony ZV-1 Mark II. This is now my out-of-studio camera. It's got a pretty wide-angle lens, and it zooms in that old digital cybershot way that I think is pretty cool. And it's got better video quality than my iPhone. Also, it's fast. I can pull it out and immediately start shooting. The Sony A7 IV can stay at home. And for the strap I have on it, I use this old Wiimote wrist strap. And this brings me to the Mamiya 645. It's a medium format film camera. And I know. Film people always say that it's like fake medium format because it's like a smaller negative than a 6x6 or 6x7 or whatever. But I got it for one reason. It was the only medium format camera I can afford at the moment that has a dedicated double exposure setting. And I've got some series I'm thinking about right now, and I needed something that creates a bigger negative. I have a Yashica TLR 6x6 medium format camera, and it's totally manual, so doing double exposure is pretty easy. Here's a few of my favorite shots from that camera. But the last time I used that camera, the shutter started to get really sticky when I was shooting at an event, which wasn't great. The photos ended up kind of cool though. I'm basically making baby steps to a more expensive medium format camera that I will inevitably buy in the future. But I thought this would be a good way station on my way there. And I've never shot with a camera like this, so it feels pretty foreign to me. So this morning I'm going to a car show to test out both cameras, the Sony ZV-1 Mark II and the Mamiya 645. I'm not going to show you what it looked like when I was loading film into this camera for the first time because it took me way too long and it was super embarrassing to watch because I never loaded medium format film into a film back before. But just so you know what I'm shooting with, I'm shooting with some Kodak Gold 200. The footage from the car show is shot on my Sony ZV-1 Mark II. The first roll wasn't very good overall, but again, this shoot is just a test. I need to figure out how the double exposure mode works and just get a sense for the feel of this camera. That said, I got a couple images I really like. Gold 200 has some really nice warm colors.
We are nerdy about it.
But my husband's the one who's.
So if you take off the this plastic ring, there is like a housing that has this element and then an element behind it, like spaced a certain distance, and it's like a metal casing around those two. And so there is a lip on the top that. Fell off my tray when she was putting it out there, so she's like, oh, let me just.
Oh my gosh. This is wild.